What's going on, everybody? In today's video I'm gonna show you what it took me to close $80,000, well actually $84,000 in a one deal in about 3 months, I guess. So how many steps did it take and how actually complex this is in terms of B2B sales, so stick around. People are very concerned with marketing, lead generation, and then, you know, kind of building relationships, but what you don't realize is like most deals which are kind of in this ballpark around the $100,000, $80,000, $50,000, and then everything beyond that, they will take time, and the time it will take, it will be so much you will be surprised. I've heard about sales cycles that took 20 years for a supplier to an airport, and then I've heard about sales cycles for like 2 years, that's like an enterprise, and then if you sell to like a big company, then it takes a couple of months if it's like 100K. Okay, so let's walk through a live example. I'm not gonna share a name because it's under NDA. You don't have to believe me, but I've done it, so I don't know how to tell you that. But this is what happened. It's a German company. I'm based in Prague. Our agency is based in Prague, and I'm now gonna explain everything what happened after the initial meeting, after everything that has happened, because there's so many videos and so many things on this topic that it's pointless. What's the most crucial thing in B2B sales? Deal acceleration, meaning so that the deal doesn't get stalled in one step in the sales process. And the most deals get stalled after the first meeting. So let's say you have a discovery call, you meet with somebody, and yeah, it's nice, it's a good fit, blah, 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 blah. I'll send you the wireframes, NDA, and then nothing, blah, blah, the end. So the thing is, like, what happened here was complete opposite. We had 1 day to sign the NDA and receive the RFP. Actually, it was like an RFP, but at this stage everybody has an RFP because it's not like a startup, it's a big company. So we've signed the NDA, we've quickly got the RFP, and we had to analyze it. We had a couple of days, we had only 3 days to prepare a really great offer. And the thing is that you have to pay attention to is the buyer's process, and I completely always highlight it on this channel, because many people talk about the sales process, the way you sell, the way you do this, the way you do that, but doesn't correlate with the buyer's process, because they had such a defined buyer's process that if we would deviate from that, we would not get a deal. Simple as that. Basically, the entire deal was made with a procurement manager, and we spoke to the CTOs and all the other stakeholders at the later stage of the deal. So I'm talking the first round. What happened? There were 10 agencies in the process of tendering. We were one of them. Awesome. So what they wanted to do, we had 3 days, create an offer. They had so many requirements, really like a huge list of requirements they wanted to do. And then they would send them to us, we would send them to our guys, and we would ask additional questions because some of these things are not clear. Then the guy would send it to the CTO and they would respond back with their engineering. And that's how it kind of would go back and forth. We would never have a direct contact with those guys. Okay, so kind of annoying. But it's kind of like, this is our way. If you don't want to be this way, just go away. We're not going to deal with you. So like, you have to submit to the buyer's process. They are the ultimate decision maker. You are not. And so that was really interesting, right? And so what happened is, I was like, okay, we now have the questions. We know all the answers, so we can kind of estimate how much this project is going to cost. So let's say we have estimated like some amount of money. And now what they wanted to do, they said like the more emphasis will be put on the overall quality of the agency and like our mission and kind of like how we think about products and blah blah blah. So we needed to really create a powerful presentation. That's when I used Quiller, which I love to use, the software tool, and I've prepared like a really crazy presentation and even shot a video with the CEO. We shot the video in the first slide of the presentation. It's a link actually, and that was like saying like, hey guys, we're looking forward to this, we'll be personally involved, which is true, And you won't get this from other agencies, because what we noticed, we saw the other agencies on the list. We actually saw them because in the Q&As that we were sending, we could see their comments. So we knew we were up against guys who have like thousands of developers, or guys who are super premium, super well-known agencies working with huge brands. And we're neither. We're a very small company with about 30 people. You know, we have an HQ, 2 offices, but it's not like a big agency with 30 people, you know. So what happened? We needed to create a huge proposal, like 50 pages. And I had to include every team member, like the way we program, the what kind of languages, obviously, and then kind of like a unique spin on our story. Why should they pick us? Blah blah blah. Make it really nice, and then include the budget, and kind of that's it. Okay, so this took me a long time, and what happened is actually 1 hour, I think, before we were supposed to send it to them, I accidentally deleted the whole thing in Quiller. And Quiller, if you're listening, you don't have a undo button, so I couldn't go back, and I had to write the entire thing again. It took me another 2 hours. I almost died, but I was like, this is worth it, and it was. So I've created this offer, send it to them. Now we're waiting what's gonna happen. Okay, for this offer I had to get on board the CEO, the other founder, and kind of like look at the entire product to kind of figure out if we have some ideas, because we need to be engaged. And you know, like maybe if you're a sales guy or a marketer, you need to convince your guys in the company to contribute to this thing. It's kind of shitty sometimes from them to ask this, but it kind of has to be done. So from 10 agencies now, they picked us into the second round, and we were shortlisted. This is the first time we get a chance to see the CTO and the engineering guy and the procurement guy. And this is the time where we need to kind of have the first meeting and see if we like each other. Okay, so this is actually like the initial discovery call, but it's actually deep into the sales process. At this stage, there are maybe like 3 agencies or 5 or something like that. And so what we had to do was really something unique. We had to come up with something where the other agencies are simply not willing to do. So what is it that they are not willing to do? Well, we actually built a prototype. So it took about 3 days for our designer to create a prototype of an app that would do the thing that they wanted to do. We did it for free. It took about a couple of thousands of euros, but we had a clear prototype. And what happened, we would have a call with like 10 of our guys, 3 of their guys, and we would have a strict plan to wow them. The first was, we're gonna start with design. We're gonna show them the prototype. We implemented functions in the prototype that weren't even in the brief, to just show them how we think about the product. Crazy stuff, right? And so it was really, it took them back, and they were like, oh, this is really awesome. And we were like, yes, because like it was really awesome, right? Who does that? And no other agency could do that, because we knew their CEOs are not involved. We knew they have bigger projects. We knew that they have thousands of developers. We knew like we need this deal. Like it would be really cool for our agency, especially in the COVID-19 thing. Like right now, they are still on board with this, and they are still gonna spend money on this. We need to really win this. So the designs were done, prototype, it really wowed them. It really was awesome, and we asked really cool technical questions, and our developers were really smart. We went to another round, and we had another technical call. At this stage, it was just me, the CEO, and a developer, and we were just asking some unclarified things. What happened after that, we actually created a specific budget, super specific budget for the app. And we said like, this is what's gonna happen. The breakdown of the budget is here. It wasn't just like out of some brief, but it was like really well thought out. And that was like the final thing, right? We've cleared all the things, and we were kind of like waiting on the decision. And I remember I received a call from the procurement guy, and he said like, hey Jan, so we're going with this project, because it was like radio silence for 2 weeks from them. And they said like, so we have your offer, we're going with this project. There are a couple of other agencies in the offer, but if you are willing to give us 10% discount, we'll give it to you. And I was like, damn. Well, I was not on board with this. I wanted to get something little smaller to them, but we really thought like, okay, we need to accept Euro payment, because we use Czech crown here, and here's COVID again, like the price of Czech crown went down, so if we would accept the European payment, we would actually balance out the 10%. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then if we do this, we will for sure win. So I was like, we talked with the founders and we were like, yeah, that makes sense, let's do it. So I called him and I said, hey, 10%, okay, we got it, but we need the answer tomorrow. And the guy said, hey, good luck. He called me the next morning. We had a board meeting and you guys are in 10%. Great. Thank you very much. And then you would say, oh, awesome. No, the next part is the contract negotiation. So we had to go through an SLA, the legal department, and the contract. So they were sending us huge notes from like the data officer, this guy, and we had to ask them for a German template for laws and all this kind of crap. It took like 3 weeks to just figure out the contract and send the first invoice and agree on the payment terms, which is something crucial, because if you can't agree on the payment terms, it doesn't matter that we did the deal. If we say like we need 30% upfront and they say no, we give you 30% after the project is finished, then you're like, well, I can't even produce nothing. So that took a long time, but we got there, and then finally we signed the contract, we sent the invoice to the legal, and we were done. So this entire thing, it started on the 18th of February and it ended on the 6th of May. 3 months almost closing a deal like this. I mean, there may be more deals from this client coming in the future, maybe more referrals. Great brand. I mean, we would never get this brand otherwise. So it was really worth it. And I'm just telling you guys, like, this is what it takes. It's very hard out there, and we are experts on this particular type of development, and we had some troubles. But it's also good news. It's possible to win even if you're a smaller company, and we managed to do that. So I was very happy. It was my first big deal in Clivio since I joined, and you know, it's a good feeling to finally close something like that. So guys, I hope you take some like this as an example, and if you have any questions, leave it down below. I can answer them. I can't say the name of the client, but you already know that. So thank you so much for watching this, and subscribe to this YouTube channel because I always bring value, and hopefully you like this.